Right, the next race we're going to look at today on day 3 of the Cheltenham Festival is a race I've always campaigned. I wrote to Edward Gillespie myself last week to ask him to rename the race. I think it should be called the Stephen Allpress Cheltenham Benefit Mares Novice Hurdle. Because yet again, this race, I think, really, I always associate this race with you. And you amazed me again last time we spoke about the race, because I said to you, and off the cuff, what's the Willie Mullins certainty for the Mares Novice Hurdle? And you straight away, you didn't even have to think what it was. You just knew straight away. So you're on this race, aren't you? It's fair to say.
Yeah, I've been a Lorena fan since before the last victory at Fairy House. Obviously, I heard some good word for her prior to that race. And obviously, she didn't disappoint at Fairy House. She looks a really good mare. One of those typical progressive Willie Mullins mares that look like they could go high rank.
I must admit on this horse, I've never seen it run. I mean, I can watch out the races free, but I've never really followed them horses' mares. I don't know why he never seems to have any mares. I remember Diamond Sal, that was years ago, but I don't remember many others. But so I've always not bothered with them as much, but just never really had the chance to watch as many. So I've never seen the horse run. Is it a good horse, mate? Is it a proper good horse?
Well, obviously it's quite difficult to say exactly how good she is because obviously she's still lightly raced. But
is she winning very easily though?
She won very easy last time. Well, even Tremor the time before she won very easily, but last time out she travelled very strongly throughout the race. She was a little bit keen during the race, but that didn't seem to knock her back at all, and she drew clear really well from the last flight, and she won by a good margin. Obviously, Willie Mullins has got a good record in the race. Since they opened the race up, they've won it with Limini and Let's Stand.
I mean, you were strong on that one as well, weren't you, Limini? You were strong on Limini at the time. I remember that.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah. So that's two. Obviously, in the senior mares race, they've had Quavega, Annie Power, Vroom Vroom Mag in previous years, so they know the time of the day with these mares. And obviously, she was so.
It's worth mentioning as well. Then they also won the mares race. They won the mares race this year as well, didn't they?
Exactly that. So they do. They know the time of day, and I think the thing with this horse is it's a little bit different. I think she is to previous winners, though. Whereas she's got a different physique to these other ones that have won previous years. She looks like a big, scopy kind of chasing type, like visually to me. However, I do think the soft ground.
Limini was a small little thing,
will benefit her.
Yeah, so we could be looking at not only a mare to follow tomorrow, but in the future it is one that is probably going to be playing a massive part in the Allpress Cheltenham strategy. Because I know you're thinking about these things. The Allpress Cheltenham strategy for 2019. Would that be fair to say that this is a horse then that you think has got massive potential?
Yeah,
going
definitely.
Forward?
On what we've seen so far, she's certainly. The one thing I do know is she's definitely a useful mare. We'll find a lot more out about her tomorrow. But yeah, if she does get through tomorrow, she passed the test. There's certainly bigger races further down the line for her. I was listening to a few preview nights in recent days, and I know the yard are really keen on her, and they think she's definitely the one to beat in this race.
I mean, normally with these races, I will say, the question will say, are they winning the races by default? Is the opposition any good? And this year, though, we have to really look at there's never anything as such thing as a one-horse race, really, at Cheltenham or anywhere. So is there anything in the opposition that you think could run well and maybe surprise the favourite?
Well, yeah, again, that's an interesting question. You always have to question the strength and depth in some of these mares races because the Willie Mullins team seems so dominant. You just wonder what the opposition are quite made of that are up against these mares. But there's a few interesting ones. Nicky Henderson's got a couple in the race, and Willie Mullins has also got another one for Rick Ritchie in the race that's unraced this season. I think it's called South Salito.
Yeah, it's only had 3 runs and never won, hasn't it?
come
Yeah, I
from
looked at that one. I
France.
thought, what is that doing in the race? It must be It must be showing them something.
Yeah, I know
Yeah, I mean that could that have you seen that? It's never run in this country, you say. So you yourself have never even seen it run yourself.
No,
no?
I know it's been penciled in to run like a couple of weeks ago, but it didn't. It wasn't quite ready, and they decided that they were going to just come here fresh, which could be a good decision in hindsight. We'll find out obviously tomorrow, but I know they think she's a decent horse as well, but obviously Lorena is definitely the number one from the vibes I'm hearing from the yard.
Yeah, I mean, it's always interesting to see these horses because let's face it, Willie Mullins is one of the geniuses we mentioned earlier, and if he's put this horse in this race, he must think it must have some sort of chance of at least picking up some place money, at least. You think,
yeah,
or some black type is what they're after, really. But top three, a black type for her this early in her career would be lovely, wouldn't it?
yeah.
So he's not put her in there for a day out, has he?
No, obviously they must think she's capable of running a good race. Certainly, otherwise she wouldn't be in there. But like, it'll be interesting to see because it's anyone's guess really how she'll perform. But I think Paul Townend's mount is definitely one to beat. I know JP McManus has got a couple of horses in there for Nicky Henderson, and that they carry a decent line of form, but I'm not quite sure that they're top class to say the least. But yeah, it's interesting really. These mares, obviously they can improve rapidly, and obviously some of them don't really go on from their first run, so it's quite difficult to gauge sometimes. But visually, last time out, Lorena was very impressive, and that you have to go with her on the strict form.
Fair enough. Well, there's one I want to ask you about as well. I mean, I saw it run a couple of times ago, and I thought it travelled well through the race. I thought it looked a fair animal. But as is the case, really, would you agree with the fact that the English mares seem to be a fair way behind the Irish trained mares? Would you say that was fair?
If you look through recent renewals of obviously this race and the senior mares race, you'd have to think that is probably the case. I'm not quite sure the reasoning behind that myself. It might just be that some of these other mares from Ireland are lightly raced, and just their campaign is all geared around Cheltenham really, so they probably come into the race fresh. Or maybe they're just recruited from somewhere, probably with a back.
Yeah, just stronger, just better, aren't they?
Yeah, I'd say.
Do you think that the same horses would win races if they were trained in England, though? Wouldn't they? Do you think?
It's tricky to say, isn't it? Obviously, those horses, if they're trained in England, they'd win these races, obviously. But yeah, it's unusual really because over here in England we don't really get many top class mares over here.
So really, you're saying again? Oh yeah, I just wanted to ask quickly about the whole purpose of my question, really about British horses, was to lead you on to Cap Soleil because I kind of fancied that one, looking at their form a bit and what I saw with my own eyes when it ran. But do you think honestly then that it's got a fair bit to find with the Irish horses, Cap Soleil, or would you give that an each way chance? What do you think of that one?
Well, obviously, if you go for a form, I don't think in her last 6 or 7 races she's been at the first 2. So obviously she has got a good line of form there. I think a couple of runs ago she ran at Newbury and she was beaten there at like short odds, but she redeemed herself last time. And I wouldn't put anybody off backing her because obviously she would have a each way chance for sure. But if you're asking me for my selection, it'd definitely be a confident selection.
Oh yes, I'm always asking for selections. Yeah. So you would not, if you would say it's a race really. Then if you're looking for an each way bet in the race, really to just probably either A, guess, or B, wait for the next race, because there's plenty of each way opportunities in big handicaps.
Yeah,
really.
I wouldn't put you off backing this mare each way, because obviously she has got an each way chance, but I think it's difficult. I think there's 3 or 4 mares in there that are well more than capable of running in the in the frame. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one, really.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's tricky. It's tricky. And also, there's only 3 places in this race. There's 4 in others.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not a handicap, is it, this race? Plus, you think really when you're backing each way. Some people do. I personally never do. But they're thinking really, I'm going to back each way, hoping it will win. But you tend to think really that are the rest? Here's a question for you that really only requires a one-word answer. Are the rest of them really, in your view, running for second place tomorrow?
Well,
would you say?
If you'd asked me before, I think Maria's Benefit's a good horse in her own right. However, I don't like the way she was ridden last time, and I have this theory, or I have this feeling that maybe they might have knocked the wind out of her from her last run. I'd be a bit concerned that after a tough race last time that she can reproduce a race of high level again. I'm just a little bit concerned that she had too hard a race last time. If she hadn't, and
so that is the one really.
If she'd been given a ride with more patience last time and not knocked around as much, I'd definitely make her a live player. But I just have this concern that she's probably had too tough a race last time out. So
you would say then that would Maria's Benefit be the best hope of an English victory in this race? Would you say an English trained victory in this race?
Yeah, I definitely, on the form we've seen so far, I'd say yes. However, watching her last time, I'd be concerned that she might have left her race behind that day.
Fair enough. So just to confirm where we stand on that race, it is Steve's selection is a fairly strong selection on the favourite, Lorena. Would that be fair to say?
That's correct. It's a fairly confident selection.